Hey, what's up guys? First video in a while that wasn't a subscription-based video. It's going to be one of my rant videos where I just kind of go on about just these individual books I've read. But if you've watched any of my other videos, you get the point. No order here, just, however they're arranged is how I'm going to talk about them. It's the only order there is. But, as you can tell by this cover right here, this is the infamous, well, I don't know if it's really infamous to anybody else, but looks like the rape cover. I mean, it looks like Superman is about to rape this young boy. And I saw this on somebody's video a while ago. I don't even know if it was anybody who's on this community or anything, or if it was even on YouTube. But I saw this cover somewhere, and it was so weird to me. And I got a great price on this book. It's Action Comics 457, and the cover makes sense with the story, so it's not like that out there. But just the look of the cover alone is kind of menacing. But the story is that boy on the front there is Pete Ross's son, and I guess he's sick at one point, and then he loses his will to live. And apparently, the only thing that will save him is if Superman reveals his secret identity to him. That will be the only thing that will allow him to live. Which sounds to me like this kid is trying to pull something. But when Superman actually does try to tell him, John, which is the boy's name, doesn't believe him. Just says, no, there's no way, prove it. And then Superman does numerous things to try to prove it, and they all fail. There's a villain in here called the Master of the Wind and Hurricane, and he calls himself the Warlock, which is just terrible. It's another terrible villain. But eventually, he beats the Warlock with John there with him, and it still doesn't prove anything. That Clark Kent is his secret identity. But then the thing that he proves it is he takes him to his apartment, and when John opens up his medicine cabinet, there's no razor or shampoo or anything, meaning he has no items of normal man, and that's what proves it to him. So I mean, it was a good book, but I would have bought it just for the cover anyway. I got a little older one here. Ghost Rider number 5, The Tarantula Strikes Back. 12-cent cover here. This book was so long. I can usually get through some books. I can usually read through a book in I don't know. Well, I don't know what the average time of my book reading is, but whatever my average time is, this was about 8 times that. There might as well have not even been any pictures in here. Although, the few pictures there were that they had, even half-page spreads were very well done. I don't know who the artist is in this, I completely forgot. But, I mean, the story was good, but I just don't know if I could read more than one of these a week, even. Because it was just, wow, it was rough. It was a lot of reading. And there's some weird things that happen, too. The story is that the tarantula there is trying to convince the townspeople that him and Ghost Rider are working together. But he tries way too hard to do that. He says it 400 times. He's just riding around the town destroying things saying, the Ghost Rider and I, the Ghost Rider and I. And he just repeats it and repeats it. He just tries way too hard. And then everybody believes him. Everybody. And they put a bounty out for both of them. But it seems like everybody has unnatural emotions in this. And unnatural reactions to things. Somebody will say something crazy, and nobody will say a word, but then somebody will say something that doesn't even hint at something, and then the person will get all offended. It seemed a little off in the emotion aspect of it, but there's just weird little sections that were taken out of it that said for the next issue, and it was key points of the story that I would have enjoyed in there, a fight between two people, or a picnic that people went on, or something, was just taken out, just wasn't there. And Tarantula eventually actually defeats the Ghost Rider, but then just kind of stops, and he says, I don't know who I am, what am I doing? And then he just leaves, and, Ghost Rider has no idea what's going on. But, I mean, it was a decent read. I probably won't pick it up again unless I get, more of these, and I'll read the story in order. But, it was alright. You may have seen this on one of my other videos. I think I posted this as like one of my vacation haul. It is House of Mystery number 156, which is the first appearance of Dial H, Robbie Reed. And the first thing I noticed about this book is he has a little catchphrase that he says all the time. And it's Sockamaghee, or something along those lines. It's Sockamaghee. And he says it just too much. Every page is on there at least twice. It's a little ridiculous. Maybe it wouldn't be as ridiculous if I knew what it meant. I just take it as an exclamation. Like he's just like wow or something. But he becomes 3 heroes in this, and they're all in the front here. It's Giant Boy, the Cometeer, and the Mole. And he does different things with each of them, obviously. But he saves a plane and defeats a robot, I think, with Giant Boy. And I know the Human Mole tracks somebody through the ground through vibrations. This is just a story that seems so fun to write. I feel like you could just do anything. There's a dinosaur cobra in here. They call it like the Cobra Beast, but it's basically like a dinosaur with like a cobra head. It's pretty awesome. That is not in the Dial H story, though. That is in the Martian Manhunter's second story. And Martian Manhunter has a weird face in this, or a weird head or something. But he looks like old. And maybe that's how he's drawn at the beginning, because I've never run into him this far back. But he's the one that fights the dinosaur cobra. And his pet, which I never knew he had until this issue, is Zook from a different dimension, I guess. Changes to an Earthling. And then Martian Manhunter steals a police plane, finds grenades in it. They're just in there. No problem. They're just, he says, this is exactly what I was looking for. Like, police planes usually keep bags of grenades in them. Maybe that was a common thing back then. I have no idea. And then, the Cobra Beast actually, absorbs him, but then he just, changes it back. And, when he throws the bag of grenades at the beast just sheds. It's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, this was an awesome book. I love this. It's not in the greatest condition. One of the staples is detached. I would really like to upgrade this issue at some point. But when I do that, I'll also have to upgrade this issue, which looks a little worse off, but it's actually still together, and the inside is nicer, but the spine on the left there looks pretty bad. But this is House of Mystery 157, the second appearance of Dial H. And same thing here, turns into three heroes, which is the Human Bullet, Supercharge, and the Radar Sonar Man, which the last one is a terrible name. Another Martian Manhunter backstory to this. Not going to say too much because it's pretty much the same story. He just, does different things. But there is something brought up at the end of this that says the next issue will have Dial V for villain. And I thought that was pretty sweet. The Martian Manhunter story goes, a professor of some sort uses like a mind ray on him and turns him into the Martian Clown and uses him as a one-man show. So, I mean, that was a little different for me, seeing that. It was, They always jump right to things in this, though. Like, something will happen, and then instantly they'll know what to do. So, I mean, there wasn't enough of Martian Clown for me to enjoy. It probably lasted, 2 panels, but it was still fun. It was a fun read. Good book. I liked both of these old House of Mysteries. Supergirl number 4. And I don't know if this is how this was printed, but everywhere I've looked, this 4 is cut off right here. I haven't seen, a picture where that is not like that. And it doesn't seem like... It would look like there's a mean spiral over here, but it looks like that's where it's stapled and that's where it was printed. I don't know. I couldn't find any good pictures of these, or even any, ones that are considered good condition on eBay that I could look at their pictures. But, I mean, getting past that, this issue was awesome. I love Supergirl. There's a meteor that embeds itself into the San Andreas Fault. Just, that's pretty much where the story starts. Right off the bat, it's crazy. And then Supergirl uses her super breath to blow it, to make it cool, and then just smashes it. And then everything's good. No big deal. Didn't cause any harm, it was just in there. And then she performs Kandorian brain surgery to save David, who was hurt by hitting his head off the bottom of a pole. it was just a wild story. But through the brain surgery, I guess he gained some of her molecules or something, some of her brain cells, and becomes superpowered like her. But it's only temporary, and he ends up falling, and she saves him. You know, kind of a normal story. But the backup story is Zatanna. I don't really know how to pronounce her name. Is embedded in stone, like Excalibur, and she has to call in like the last living relative of come on now, the guy who pulled the sword and stone out. I'm drawing a blank right now, and I'm so mad about it. I'm gonna think about it as soon as I pass it up. Oh well, forget it. Has to get his last living relative, and then, you know, it's actually a relative of Merlin who puts her in there. So when she has to get, you know, the last living relative of, yeah, it's gone. I'm so mad right now. You know, he comes and pulls her out, but it's actually a baby. I'm mad about that book now. I don't even want to talk about it. Last one is going to be Warlock number 10. First off, his cover is incredible. You got Thanos on the left, Magus on the right. You got Warlock in the middle, just destroying and on top of bodies, and oh, it's just awesome. This is actually the origin of Thanos, as well as the origin of, I want to say, Gamora? Yeah, it's definitely Gamora. Gamora's origin, too. And I didn't know Gamora's origin until I read this. I did know Thanos' origin, but I did not know Gamora, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Written by Starlin. You can't go wrong at all. Starlin's probably my favorite writer in comic books. Captain Marvel's in here. A little weird. He just shows up, and he's the one that tells the origin of Thanos. Like, after the first chapter, he just shows up, tells the origin of Thanos, and then disappears. Is not in the rest of the book. But, you know, I love this Warlock series. I've actually recently found pretty much the rest of this series for a decent price. I'm going to try to pick them up. Everywhere I've looked, they've been outrageously priced. So hopefully I can get the rest of this series, and then maybe after I read them, I'm going to try to do like a complete series review, because it wasn't that long. But, yeah, all these books were great. I really enjoyed all of them. There wasn't really a bad one here. Actually, if there was, I probably wouldn't have put it in here. But I'm going to try to get a few more of these up. I've been kind of slacking on the videos. I've been doing a subscription one and pretty much nothing else. So I'm also going to try to get a video up for contest that somebody I'm going to try to get. Why am I telling you this? Regardless, I'm going to try to get some more videos up, and thank you guys for watching, and remember, have a great day.